On July 23, 2024, an 84-year-old woman stepped out of a laundromat in East London. With her silver hair, no makeup, a pale shirt, and a red scarf, she caught the attention of passers-by. No bodyguards, no paparazzi, no stage, just a candid snapshot that quickly spread across the internet. That woman was Julie Christie, the iconic star of the 60s who had once captivated Hollywood with nothing but a raised eyebrow and eyes full of sorrow. She had once made Warren Beatty want to marry her, turned down the role of a Bond girl, won an Oscar, and then simply disappeared. She didn't retire or announce a farewell. Instead, she quietly vanished, as if the spotlight had never been enough to hold her. What caused a woman, once adored by the world, to choose a life of silence? What lies behind the glamour, the fashion, and those unforgettable roles? It's the story of an artist's soul, a woman who never lived by anyone else's expectations. Julie Christie's journey isn't merely one of cinematic success but a testament to freedom and holding on to oneself, even when it means walking away from the glitz and the glow. Julie Frances Christie was born on April 14, 1940, at the Shinglung Tea Estate in Chabwa, Assam, northeastern India. Her father, Frank St. John Christie, was a British plantation manager, and her mother, Rosemary Ramdon, was a Welsh painter. From the moment of her birth, Julie's life was defined by two contrasting worlds: the rigid discipline of British colonialism and the free-spirited artistic nature of her mother. She also had a half-sister, John Christie, born from her father's relationship with an Indian plantation worker, a relationship considered shameful within colonial society. This hidden part of her family history foreshadowed a life marked by contradictions. Though Julie rarely spoke of it, growing up in a family filled with unspoken tensions undoubtedly shaped her views on identity, power, and truth. At age 6, Julie was sent to England to study and was raised by a foster family, far from her parents. She attended a Catholic convent school, where the atmosphere was cold and strict, a stark contrast to her colorful childhood in India. It was here that she was expelled for telling inappropriate stories, an early sign that she wasn't someone who would easily conform to rules. Julie later admitted that this period left her with a deep sense of abandonment, which influenced her lifelong reluctance to commit, marry, or have children. After her time in England, Julie went to Paris to continue her education and improve her French, a language she had spoken fluently since childhood. At 9, Julie had a life-changing experience when she secretly ran away from her boarding school and spent the day with a young actor struggling to make a name for himself. His story captivated her, and she later said it was at that moment that she knew she wanted to become an actress, not for fame, but for the freedom to live different lives and escape her tightly controlled reality. Back in England, Julie pursued the stage, enrolling in the prestigious Central School of Speech and Drama in London. There, she stood out not because of academic achievements but because of how she expressed herself, naturally, modern, and unforced. She didn't act to please her teachers but to be authentic. Julie Christie's big break came quietly and cautiously. She landed her first TV role in 1961 in the BBC's science fiction series A for Andromeda, where she played a computer-generated woman, cold, alluring, and not entirely human. Her subtle performance caught the attention of audiences and directors, earning her comparisons to Brigitte Bardot, but with a smarter, more enigmatic air. Though the BBC considered offering her a long-term contract, they chose not to, a decision they later regretted. In 1962, Julie began appearing in British comedies, such as Crooks Anonymous and The Fast Lady. These films didn't draw much attention, but they helped her get comfortable with the camera and filmmaking. It was during this time that Julie began learning the technical side of cinema. Her real breakthrough came in 1963 with Billy Liar, where she portrayed Liz, a rebellious, free-spirited woman. The iconic scene of her walking down the street in a miniskirt became a symbol of women's liberation in 1960s Britain. Julie was a late addition to the cast after another actress withdrew, and her raw, captivating performance stunned everyone on set. By 1965, Julie Christie was impossible to ignore. That year, she starred in two iconic films, Darling and Doctor Zhivago. In Darling, she played Diana Scott, a spontaneous and conflicted model symbolizing the swinging 60s, and won an Oscar for Best Actress. But it was the outfit she wore to the ceremony, a shimmering gold pantsuit she designed and sewed herself, that became an iconic moment. That same year, she starred in Dr. Zhivago, where her portrayal of Lara became unforgettable. Her chemistry with Omar Sharif was so intense that some scenes were trimmed for being too provocative by 1960s standards. Dr. Zhivago was a global sensation, and Julie Christie's face became instantly recognizable. Though she had reached the pinnacle of fame, instead of taking on predictable roles, she pursued more challenging and unpredictable projects. In 1966, she starred in Fahrenheit 451, a dystopian science fiction film directed by François Truffaut, and in Far From the Madding Crowd, 1967, where she portrayed an independent woman pursued by three men. By the early 1970s, Julie's career continued to evolve, with roles in bold films like Don't Look Now, 1973, which featured a controversial and realistic sex scene. She also earned a second Oscar nomination for her role in McCabe and Mrs. Miller, 1971. After stepping away from mainstream cinema for a period, Julie made a comeback with the 1997 indie film Afterglow, where she played a middle-aged woman dissatisfied in her marriage. This performance earned her a third Oscar nomination. Her role in Away From Her, 2007, as a woman battling Alzheimer's was widely acclaimed and brought her a fourth Oscar nomination, along with a Golden Globe and numerous other accolades. Julie Christie's personal life, though marked by passionate relationships, was never a fairy tale. She loved fiercely and lived freely, speaking French and Italian, but always remained wary of fame and the control it imposed. In the early 1960s, she met actor Terence Stamp, a rising star in British cinema. Their connection wasn't a fiery romance but a quiet, deep resonance, filled with discussions of literature, politics, and the absurdity of fame. Their bond faded as their careers took them in different directions. There was no dramatic breakup, no fights, just two people following their separate paths, yet still speaking highly of each other in the years that followed. Julie Christie's life is a testament to profound independence, quiet elegance, and an unyielding commitment to authenticity. As someone who captivated the world with her striking presence and deep, soulful performances in classics like Dr. Zhivago and Darling, Christie was not just an actress, she was a symbol of her era. But despite the adulation, she never allowed fame to define her. Terence Stamp, a man who worked alongside her and had profound respect for her, once remarked, "I've never met anyone like Julie. No one has confused me the way she did, and no one has made me stay that quiet during a conversation." Julie, for her part, rarely opened up about her personal life, but when she did speak about her relationships, she said simply of Terence, "He understood me more than I realized." Before becoming a global star, Julie had a quiet, grounding relationship with Don Besant, an unassuming painter with no ties to Hollywood. They lived together in a modest flat, with little care for the attention that would eventually come her way. Their relationship lasted for years, but as Julie's career took off and demands on her time grew, their paths naturally diverged. In 1966, when Julie was attending the royal premiere of Born Free in London, Warren Beatty, already one of Hollywood's biggest stars, noticed her. Struck by her effortless beauty, he sought a way to meet her, and their relationship began. Over the course of their 7 years together, they never shared a home, but their connection remained strong. Beatty once said, "Julie doesn't need to say anything. People go quiet just to hear her think." Despite their deep connection, their relationship was not without tension. Julie believed in loyalty, but she didn't see marriage or children as necessary. Beatty, on the other hand, saw things differently, and over time, their differing views on fidelity created friction. Still, they remained friends after their breakup, with Beatty even writing a role specifically for her in Reds, a role she turned down out of respect for the character's nationality. After her split with Beatty in 1974, Julie didn't rush into another relationship. She sought companionship but never attachment. She had a brief relationship with musician Brian Eno, a quiet and contemplative man like her, and later with director Jim McBride, who she found too American, too rushed, too loud. Other relationships followed, but none were permanent. With photographer Terry O'Neill, she shared a deep but fleeting connection. With Hollywood producer Lou Adler, she returned to England after just a few months, preferring the peace of her own life over the buzz of Hollywood. In 1979, Julie found lasting companionship in Duncan Campbell, a Scottish investigative journalist with a passion for truth and activism. Their shared values, a disdain for fame and a love for quiet, meaningful work, created the foundation for a partnership that lasted for decades. They never married, never sought public attention, and lived in peaceful solitude on a farm in Wales, away from the prying eyes of the media. Despite rumors of a secret marriage in 2007, Julie simply dismissed them, saying, "I've been married for ages," keeping her life exactly how she wanted it, private and genuine. Julie Christie didn't accumulate a vast list of film roles or public appearances in her later years. Instead, she chose to live in her own way, far removed from the noise of Hollywood. Her cinematic legacy, though selective, is immense, with iconic roles that showcased her ability to portray complex, multifaceted women who defied the norms of their time. Her influence extended beyond film. She was a trailblazer for women who wanted to live life on their own terms, unfettered by societal expectations. And now, at 84, Julie has largely disappeared from public view, living a quiet life in Wales with Duncan, tending to sheep, planting trees, and walking daily. Her rare appearance in July 2024, wearing simple clothes and with her natural silver hair, was a stark contrast to the glamorous screen siren she once was. But that's exactly how Julie Christie wanted it. Fame, she believed, wasn't about applause or recognition, it was about staying true to yourself, regardless of what the world expected. Julie Christie didn't follow the Hollywood script. She didn't need constant validation, didn't mold herself to fit anyone's ideals. She made bold choices, left a deep mark on fashion and film, and ultimately chose a life of quiet authenticity. In a world where fame often demands conformity, she chose the freedom to disappear and live by her own standards, and perhaps, that is the most impressive decision of all. What strikes you most about Julie Christie's life? Her powerful performances, her unconventional choices, or the way she quietly slipped away from the spotlight, leaving behind a legacy? Let us know in the comments. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys like Julie's. Thank you for joining us.